It is not common, not usual for me to emphasize so much on a re-release. And you know what? This Scarlet figure has just been released this month itself in June 2025. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix from 9th of June. Yep, 9th of June, your favorite day of the year, to 14th of June 2025. This week, we have so many new figures on pre-order. Man, fortunately for me, not too many very tempting figures, but there are still a few really good ones over here, which made me think twice or thrice, should I pre-order it early? So yeah, we have good stuff this week. So without further ado, let's move on to Hobby Link Japan, our affiliate partner for genuine licensed anime figures, to check out PVC figures of the week as usual. And I have so many things to say for this week's figure pre-orders, man. Like, so many. Yeah. Starting off with the largest scale as usual, 1x4 scale, we have Amakano 2 Plus Yuhi Kurohime Bunny Suit version by Carnival. Another new figure brand I've never heard of. Carnival, Japanese figure brand, almost 40,000 yen, December 2025 release, December again. Okay, what is special about this figure over here? This is actually customable. And do you know what is funny? They actually carved out a hole in her bunny suit at the crotch region just so that you can open it. It is not like you're getting an entire torso part to swap out, no? Most likely it is just the chest piece over here. You can remove it, and then there is a very specific cutout at the crotch there. Just for you to see a pink color slit, like seriously. Anyways, the art style of this character looks really familiar, original art character, and I can see this one selling pretty well, even though it is just a bunny girl. 40,000 yen, it is a bit pricey. It is a bit expensive, but if you look at bindings offerings of their 1x4s, that is not too far off their prices as well. Moving up next, we have a 1x4 scale Pingy bunny version illustration by Tony. Tony Art is back. Coming from Alpha Max and SkyTube, 33,000 yen, March 2026 release. This one is also customable, by the way. And you get to see both the top and also the bottom, the nyan over there. 33,000 yen only. This seems like a much better deal than the earlier bunny girl, isn't it? Yeah, but that Amakano 2 Plus figure earlier, I think the face is a bit nicer. That is subjective, of course. But SkyTube, as a figure brand, I find it really weird, to be honest. Like, they have been very quiet lately. It was just 5-8 years ago, they were announcing and putting new figures on pre-order, edgy figures. Every 2 weeks or so, they were very active back then, but nowadays they are very quiet. They don't make or release many figures. I'm not sure what is up with them. Maybe they have expanded their business into some other types of merchandisers, I don't know. Yeah, so their figure division is a bit less of a priority. Maybe there's a reason, I'm not too sure. Orchid Seat is one such example. Figures, it is like a side quest to them. They also make something else. They are involved in game developing actually. Maybe SkyTube is doing the same, I'm not too sure. But yeah, they have been pretty quiet lately. And if there is one problem I have with Tony Art edgy figures by SkyTube specifically, I'm not sure if this speculation of mine will apply to this figure, but that has been the case with many SkyTube figures by Tony that I purchased in the past. You only get the pink slit. You don't get the chocolate hole, if you know what I mean. I know that some of you are not interested in the chocolate hole, but I mean, this is human anatomy we're talking about. Everyone has that hole, but they omitted that from their figures, especially those that were Tony artworks. I hope they stop doing that because I know I have mentioned that I don't like realistic figures, but not to the extent of one hole missing, if you get my point. So if you choose to pre-order or purchase this figure, bear that in mind, you might get only one instead of two holes. Yeah, okay, moving on to the next one here. Wow, you see, Lovely is a higher end Chinese ecchi figure brand that have been coming up with one banger over another. Their figures are amazing, but at the same time, they are not very cheap. This is 26,000 yen for the deluxe version of Probation Succubus Yuna illustrated by King. And the standard version is 24,000 yen, where the wall scroll is being omitted as usual. Is it a good price? Yes, very good, because this obviously is a customable figure and I can't show much for very obvious reasons, even if I really wanted to, because YouTube is not kind to anime figure YouTubers in general. In case you guys are unaware of, another figure YouTuber, Kohai's Collection, if you watch their video, they actually complained about this, their channel being completely demonetized just for reviewing ecchi figures, and they were told by YouTube's moderators to delete all of the offending videos, then they can apply for monetization again 3 months later. Yeah, and then they have started a second new channel dedicated to reviewing all these channels, all these ecchi figures, and yeah, that channel isn't going to make any money at all, and they would be relying on people. Who knows, maybe they have sponsors or other sources of income, because running YouTube channel actually requires quite some expenditure. Yeah, all this equipment, our lights, our cameras, all these things, they cost money. So yeah, go and check out their channel, their new channel. What was the name again? I can't remember, but they have 2 channels now, 2 figure channels. Yeah, for me, I don't feel like making another 18 plus figure channel. At least I don't feel like doing it at the moment. I have a very heavy workload. I upload 2 to 3 videos a week on this channel, and on top of that, I have a second camera and photography related channel. So that is enough work for me at the moment. So getting back to this figure over here, this is a work of art. That is all I have to say over here. And this is not even close to the cheapest figure Lovely has made so far. They have this bunny girl figure. I can't remember the name. That one was customable. Very popular figure. Was even nominated as best figure of the year. Was it last year or before? Nominated by me. That thing was over 30,000 yen. 33k, I believe. Yeah. I think the name was Lium, right? L-U-M-A, Lium. Something like that. 1/6 as well. So this one, if you're interested in this figure, she comes as highly recommended from me. I can vouch for this brand, Lovely. Okay, moving up to this figure over here by Orchid Seat, 1/6 scale Naughty Cat Mew Mew, illustrated by Mataro, 26,000 yen, February 2026 release. This one is castable, but only for the top, from the looks of it. And of course, you can remove her megane. She looks cute without those glasses over there. So this is really up to you whether you like the art style or not. And finally, Orchid Seat is back with something new. As I mentioned earlier, they don't make many figures nowadays, and the past few figures they put on pre-order, they felt like old figures being repackaged as new ones. A bit of a re-release in a way, yeah. Small modifications. This one looks pretty good, I like it, but 26,000 yen does feel a little bit steep. But given that you're getting extra parts in the box, fair enough, I suppose. I like the character design though, not gonna lie. Moving up next, we have a 1/6 scale Azur Lane Formidable Sweet Time version by Clenel. Interestingly, Clenel is doing this figure in 1/6. That is not common. Have they released 1/6 scale figures before even? I can't remember any. I could be wrong, of course, but I can't remember. 25,000 yen is fair, I guess, for 1/6. Not to mention, we get that KFC over there. Almost every Azur Lane figure has that KFC. And she is coming out in March 2026. I would choose not to scroll through the pictures over here, even though, this figure is perfectly safe for YouTube. But her oppa is being covered covered by a pair of ribbons, and who knows, that might trigger a false red flag with YouTube's AI algorithm. That's the thing. But it is really hard to outdo Alter with this specific character. Formidable, you know, that Alter figure of hers, 30,000 yen, and she has this additional faceplate, which is the main reason why everybody who liked her bought one. Yeah, that wing eye faceplate, that faceplate is amazing. And until now, we have so many formidable skill figures already, but there were none of them that can beat that faceplate by Alter. That was a really sweet face expression, yeah. Moving up next, we have 1/6 skill Heibon-chan Bunny version by Lackery, 23,800 yen, November, release this November. Okay, Lackery is a average to below average figure brand, in case you guys are unfamiliar. This brand has been around for a long time, and just like a few other brands I mentioned earlier, it feels like figures are not their main business. They are involved in some other stuff. They don't make or release many stuff. And some of their figures in the past were resin, but this one is PVC. Yeah, I just confirmed it. So this is also an edgy figure brand, but it is more like soft core in a way. So with this figure, you only get to cast off the top, not the bottom. I'm not exactly a big fan of the character design of this bunny girl, but once again, that is all down to subjective preferences. Yeah, so many bunny girls, man. How many already? Just today alone. Okay, one more thing about Lackery, I forgot. So if you want to know about Lackery as a figure brand, what their quality is like, not the best. In fact, I would rank them somewhere at the bottom half of my rankings. Bottom half sounds bad, but what I mean is below average, like B-, C+ or so. So if you say you want to skip this one, then feel free to. You are not losing out on much. This is strictly for people who like the character design of this very specific artwork and figure. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here, another 1/6. We have a lot of 1/6s this week. Bunny Suit Planning, Sophia F showing. We can never have enough figures of her. Dress version by Magi Arts, Chinese figure brand, 22,000 yen at 1/6 and cast offable. That is a great price. Cast offable only for the top, not the bottom, because this is edgy, not H, you know. April 2026 release. The thing with this Sophia figure over here is that I'm not sure what to think about her face. It looks a little bit different from the Sophia I know. I think this could be down to a different artist. Has there been a different artist for Sophia? I thought it has always been the same artist all these years. I could be wrong, of course. But this Sophia figure over here, at first glance, it reminds me of a Dolphy Dream, a BJD doll. Yeah, the face is very similar, I mean. Very uncanny to dolls. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it is a proportion of her eyes, the shape and proportion of her eyes to the nose and mouth. It is so uncanny. It felt like looking at the 1/3 scale doll to me. And for that reason, she felt different. She looked different from many other Sophia F showing figures I've seen so far. So this is all down to personal taste once again. This is something either you love or hate. For me, I'm not exactly a fan of this face over here. It looks a bit off to me. But 22,000 yen for something partially castable, I suppose that you swap the entire upper torso, right? So the blue color rings on the arm, that is where you remove her arm. And then you remove the head. The other arm should have a blue color, ring over there, and then you replace the entire upper torso. That is probably how they are doing it. Though casting it off would mean that it is weird looking because the top has no cloth on, and then meanwhile the bottom half of the body still has the dress. It is really weird. I would prefer if they did the upper body part where the blue color cloth is being pushed aside, exposing her oppai, instead of completely hadaka with no cloth on. I think pushing them aside would look even more attractive, and then, you know, the cloth, the tension, pushing against the oppai, being squeezed in a way, and then the sculpting would look amazing. Yeah, so I think this is a missed opportunity over here. Could have been better. when it comes to the sculpt of the casted off version. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one here, another 1x6 Avian Romance Pink Label Ponytail Girl Chi Pao by Wave Corporation, 21,600 yen October release. That is this October, just months away. Okay, so the thing with Avian Romance, I've seen a few scale figures from this series, whatever it is. Of course, my lazy self, I did not do my homework to find out what this Avian Romance thing is, but I have found their character designs to be quite aesthetic in a way. Yeah, they have these ballet dancing girls in some way being made into figures, and they look majestic when displayed on the shelf. This one is more generic looking, but Wave Corporation is a very high quality figure brand. They make a lot of stuff. They make model kits, battle ships, yeah, plastic model kits and so on. And occasionally they dabble with figures, but when they do make figures, their figures turn out very high in quality. Their QC is also really consistent. And for once, they are pricing their figures very competitively over here, because Wave Corporation has a reputation of making their scale figures pretty expensive, like a tiny simple JK figure at 1x7 scale but 20,000 yen. This one 1/6 at under 22k. I'm a bit surprised, to be honest. Quite a good price, yeah, for a Wave Corp figure. So if you like her, go ahead and pick one up. Another brand that I'm quite confident that they make good stuff. Moving up next, we have Weverse Studio, Chinese figure brand, 1x6 scale Toho project, Flandre Scarlet Innocent Time version. Lolly version of Flandre Scarlet. Okay, this is actually a collab between Weverse Studio and Freya, another Chinese figure brand. 13k, you know what? If you love Toho, this is a no-brainer. Pick one up, pre-order it. This is so cheap, man. And her wings look fantastic. But if there is one complaint I have, once again, a very subjective complaint, it feels like she got smashed. I mean on the head, not... her head got smashed. And then now her face is like flattened in a way, like really wide and very... I mean, you get the idea, right? When you smack it on the head and then the head becomes deformed. It is now squished down. It looks... You know, the sculpt, yeah, it looks like that to me. So, once again, that is down to personal preference. I think she still looks good. But we have a smashed, flattened head over here. For 13,000 yen, still worth it. Alright, moving on to the next one. We have a re-release. They call it renewal package version. Yeah, it is a re-release, but you know, they had to change a new box. Like, there is a new box design, hopefully more reinforced. So they call it renewal package version. Yui Kotegawa Darkness version from To Love Through Darkness. 15,000 yen only at 1x6 scale. You know, Union Creative is not exactly my first go-to brand. When I want something from To Love Through, I would think about Alter and Q-Skill first. But if there is one thing Union Creative is really good at, and I really respect them for it, it is their consistency in supporting every character in this franchise, in this manga and anime. Every single character, including the side characters, the less important characters, all the way to the sensei, and also Yami's original DNA donor in a way. Teryu Lunatic, the male version of Yami. Those side characters that only appear for a few episodes, they make the figures anyway. And I really respect Union Creative for that. Yui Kotegawa... Textbook tsundere. Okay, this is not my favorite Yui Kotegawa figure at all, but 15k only. And if you want a full set of Darkness outfit figures, this is your second chance if you don't have this figure. Moving up next, we have the main highlight this week, at least in my opinion. This is the best scale figure this week, coming from MTOS, a very respected Chinese brand as well. We have a 1x7 scale Arknights, Texas, the Omertosa, the Throne version. Okay, 27,000 yen is on the expensive side, but I can justify it. I mean, look at that base. It is amazing. The only problem is that I'm looking at this figure from the perspective of a photographer and diorama builder, so that door behind her needs to be way bigger. That is too like way too undersized. I know it is just a prop to make the figure look good, to make it look less boring, but man, I'm going to be so pissed if I were to buy this figure and photograph it, and then I have to replace the entire base. I have to redesign, 3D print everything from scratch because that door is not going to make it into my final photograph. Yeah, so this is a great thing for figure collectors who love their figures highly detailed and not too plain, not too simple, no round disc bases. Great for collectors, a nightmare for a photographer like me, if I have to be honest. But man, despite my complaints about the base over here or the door behind her, I still want it really badly, but I'm really wary about digging myself another big hole. I fell into the FGO hole, and then now Nikke and Blue Archive will tell me, buy more Arknight figures. I have to think twice about that. That's the thing. And I know that I've been buying some Azur Lane figures as well, but I don't see myself getting too deep into Azur Lane, fortunately. Now look at this picture over here. The details, man. I love details. This thing appeals to me so much. This is possibly the best Texas scale figure, isn't it? Are there better figures of her out there? I think this is the best one. Man, look at that. This is a must-have for Arknights collectors. Must-have. And MTOS, they make great quality figures. They almost stand toe-to-toe with Apex Toys in terms of QC nowadays. Really good. Moving up next, we have a 1/7 scale Cafe Stella and the Reaper's Butterflies Kana Akizuki by Alice Glint. Ouch, 33,000 yen almost, June 2026 release. Okay, so I know nothing about Cafe Stella other than this thing definitely being a game, right? But after seeing this figure sporting a feature which is cast off for the top only, you can replace her body with a part where her undergarment is being exposed. Yeah, this one over here seems like you need to swap out the entire upper torso, which is why this figure is so expensive, and that is in combination with the base over there, obviously. And there is a third torso which I can't put on screen, where you get to see her oppai in its full glory. But if I have to choose which version of display, I think it would be this version where her clothes are open with a really nice pair of undergarments over there, but not to the extent of exposing her oppai. I think this version is what I prefer because it looks a little bit more detailed in a way, rather than a fully buttoned up uniform. Though the uniform looks nice as well. Man, this is hard to decide. So the thing with JKs, right, is actually a JK. The thing with JKs, right, when they are fully undressed, not so great looking. Partially undressed is the best thing ever. So can I recommend this? I mean, if you know something about Cafe Stella and you like it, I would say go for it. Alice Glint is also a really good brand. And it has been, for 1 year at least, I said that I wanted their figure of Rio Leon from Danmachi, but until today, I couldn't spare any budget for it. That's the thing. Yeah, I want their Rio Leon, man, from Danmachi. Best girl in Danmachi. However, with this figure, you may want to get it on Ami because it is the way better deal over there, no contest. So Ami, there is this limited edition where not only you're getting Ami exclusive bonus, you are getting that closed eye faceplate over there you're seeing on screen right now for just an additional like 1,500 yen. What is 1,500 yen when you're paying over 30k for scale figure, right? So this is the way to go, unless you're banned from Ami, of course. For me, I can't be bothered with this closed eye faceplate. Like, unless that specific anime or game character is known for having her eyes closed all the time, and when her eyes does open, you know that you are screwed, that kind, you know? Yeah, then maybe I'll display the figure with fully closed eyes, but normally, I'm not a fan of this kind of closed eye faceplates. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here, we have 3 scale figures from Good Smile Company. All 3 are pretty good stuff. The first one is OMG Kawaii Angel Anniversary Party version, Needy Streamer Overload. 20,000 yen for this detailed looking VTuber, right? VTuber figure. And do you know what? I would even go as far to say that this is the best scale figure of OMG Kawaii Angel yet. We had a few scale figures already. We had pop-up parades and stuff, both the normal and the L one. But in terms of character design, detail, and so on, I think there is no contest. This is the best version of her yet. So if you are a big fan of this character over here, yes, pre-order this one. 20,000 yen is a really good price. This is beautiful. You know, I have written off so many OMG Angel figures so far. Each time they go on pre-order, I was like, alright, cool, next. But this one, she caught my eye for quite a while, and that says something. Yeah, because I love details for sure. The way the sculpting on her dress over there with the shading, the folds, oh, they look amazing. Okay, moving up to the second good smile figure over here, we have Blue Archive Aru dress version, just under 16,000 yen, May 2026 release. Well, guess what? Do I like Aru? Yes. But this figure is a bit bland. At least the price reflects that, you know, this is very affordable. And I have noticed, right, the last few scale figures by Good Smile from Blue Archive, they are all relatively low cost. Relatively. We are looking at 15,000 yen to 18 or 20k yen max. So I'm not sure why they are going for the lower budget range for Blue Archive. My guess is that maybe, you know, yeah, the audience, the player base of this game, they are not big spenders like FGO players or Azur Lane players. Maybe that is the reason. I'm just guessing. It is conjecture over here. There has to be a reason why some anime or games, they get very expensive scale figures constantly between 25k to over 30k, 40k even, while other games, they get lower budget scale figures consistently over and over. And then there are also anime that never get proper scale figures, at most to get pop-up parades and Tenitals, the low budget stuff, because the people who love that specific series can't afford the figures, I suppose. Yeah. I know that there are exceptions, obviously. With Blue Archive, we have this spiritual scale figure. What's her name again? Lolly character, short hair, bunny suit with a jacket, and sitting on what looks like a barber's chair. What's her name? I can't remember. I wanted that scale figure, but obviously I couldn't afford it, over budget, and then I did not buy it. But by today, that thing is over 30,000 yen if you can find one. The release price was already expensive at 25,000 yen, so there are obvious exceptions, but in general, Blue Archive figures are leaning towards the slightly budget end of the pricing range. Yeah. Moving up next, we have a re-release of Scarlet from Goddess of Victory Nikke. You see, I was struggling to figure out what title to put for today's video because there are so many highlights that MTOS Arknight figures earlier. That is the obvious highlight of the week in my opinion. But I have so much to talk about this Scarlet figure over here that I have to make her the title of today's video. It is not common, not usual for me to emphasize so much on a re-release. And you know what? This Scarlet figure has just been released this month itself in June 2025. And yes, I did not pre-order it because over budget. I mean, I just paid for two very expensive scale figures at HLJ this month alone. I don't want to pre-order too many figures in one single month. I mean figures that are being sold at full MSRP price. If it is a bargain bin, that is a different story. So I opted not to pre-order her for fear that this figure would fall into the same month as my other existing pre-orders, and then I would have too much to pay in a single month. And that was the correct decision because this thing came out in June together with my other pre-orders. And guess what? There is another FGO figure, what was the name again? Kama from Medicos Final Ascension version, released this month as well. Like, God, if I pre-ordered all of them, I would be so screwed, man. So this was a sacrifice. I chose not to pre-order it, and guess what happened? She completely sold out, guys. She sold out everywhere. pre-order sold out, and I tried looking at China's Taobao to see whether I can get her at normal prices at all, not to mention discounted price. I would be happy to get her at 23,000 yen, like this price over here. But guess what? Even over in China, in Taobao, she's not being spared. You are paying at least 30,000 yen equivalent for this figure. No, I'm not paying that amount. So this is a bit like a second chance for people like me who did not manage to pre-order this figure because of all of the bad timing with figure releases. But it is not all great news because this re-release is coming out in January 2026, where I have two very expensive Nikke figures due December. Okay, at least it is of a different month, but still, if my December pre-orders get delayed into January, I'm screwed anyway. I just couldn't win. And you know what, Scarlet, this specific Scarlet over here, this is one of the more attractive character designs in Nikke. I want it. And with Nikke, I'm already being very specific with my selection on what to purchase, what to pre-order. I'm not buying literally everything. I'm choosing my favorite character designs. And I'm still looking at a big credit card bill regardless. So, will I finally pre-order it this time? Perhaps yes, perhaps. I don't want to miss out on her again. Now, the problem is that, should I pre-order and wait for January next year? Or should I keep hunting in places like Mandarake or in Taobao, and hopefully I come across a seller that sells her at normal prices? So, my plan for now is that I'll give it a week. I will start hunting for that Scarlet figure over at Taobao, but if I couldn't find one at normal prices within a week, I would pre-order this one. It is such a shame because I would prefer to pre-order this figure as early as possible, but yeah, one cannot have everything. And even if I were to find her at normal prices at Taobao within this week alone, guess what? I'm still stretching my June to July budget to the absolute limit. Still spending a lot regardless, right? So, we'll see. I'm still undecided at the moment. Okay, moving up next, we have Clay. So last week we had Bay, right? Was it Bay? I think it was, right? The one by Flare, of course. So this week we get Clay, this cheerleader version from Goddess of Victory Nikke by Flare, 25,000 yen, almost May 2026 release. Okay, once again, same comment as last week. If you couldn't afford the 1x4s by Free Ink, this is the next best thing, I suppose. And this Clay looks a lot better for sure, unlike the other two characters by Flare, including Nero, the ones with dark color hair, dark brown hair. I mentioned last week that their face look really dark, right? It is like light being sucked into a black hole, something like that. But Clay does not give off that vibe, that really dark face look because of her hair color. So this one does look quite a lot better compared to the one last week for sure. If you want one, yeah, go ahead and pre-order it. But you know what? 25,000 yen for 1x7 scale is very steep, in my opinion. This is really expensive. And once again, in case you're unaware of, Flare is a branch of Alter, but they are not at Alter's level in terms of QC. Okay, moving up next, we have a really nice figure of Yui Kotegawa from To Love Through Darkness, 1x7 scale, arranged school uniform version. Yeah, arranged. Because there are no schools out there that makes their student dress up this way on a daily basis. This is obviously a manga and anime only thing. Just under 20,000 yen, May 2026 release. And you know what? This figure looks amazing. Right? Kyoskyo quality. I like Kyoskyo's figures a lot. I do like their stuff. But this one, I'm not sure if I will get it. You know, I've stopped collecting To Love Ro figures, but I still have a lot of existing To Love Ro figures in my collection. A lot of them are Alter stuff. I have the Alter Yui Kotegawa, but I don't think I'll buy more. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, moving up next, we have 1x7 scale Prisma Wing. It's the Order Rabbit Bloom Cocoa, 35k, ouch. But you know what? This has to be the prettiest Cocoa figure I've seen so far. expensive for a reason, I suppose, and as long Prisma Wing does not screw up the figure, I can wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone with the deep pockets or wallets to pick up this thing. This is beautiful for sure. Like, I look at this figure over here, I virtually have nothing to complain about. The only problem is number one, the price obviously, and number two, this brand Prisma Wing is, yeah, they have some inconsistencies lately. They messed up a Tokisaki Krumi figure so bad, and that is a 50,000 yen figure. I even made a video specifically for that one single screw up alone. Yes, so that is one thing to bear in mind. Should you wait until after release if you want to take that risk? Go ahead. Yeah, but this is jam-packed of details. She looks amazing. I love this so much. Seriously. Prisma Wing, please make sure that this thing turns out perfect. Yeah. Moving up next, we have Kitendo, another brand which is similar to Orchid Seat, I mentioned earlier, and also Lacquery. They don't make many figures because they have other ventures, I suppose. But all of a sudden, this is so random. They are giving us a figure of Lan Bunny Girl version from GGO. So, I'm not sure what to think about this bunny version of Lan. I would prefer her in her original military outfit, which is bright pink all over. The one from season 1, right? I would prefer her in that version, which Kotobukiya did make a scaled figure, Plum as well. And they can still be found for a good price, especially the Plum version. The Koto version, not so much. The Plum version over in China's Taobao can find it very cheaply. So with this Lan over here, I suspect that they are following the art style from the novel, I think, not the anime, because the face looks a little bit different. From what I remember watching the anime, both season 1 and season 2, it looks a bit different over here. And I'm not sure what to think about the sculpt around her nose and mouth region. It lacks definition a little bit, so it made the figure look a bit lower detail, right? Not to mention 25,000 yen for a 1x7 lolly figure, which is not a big figure at all. This feels really expensive. My recommendation would be to hunt down the ones by Kotobukiya or Plum if you can, at a low price of course. But if you insist on having her in this pink bunny girl outfit, which is still very nice to be honest, then by all means pre-order it. Yeah. Moving up next, we have 2 re-releases from Alter. So this is the funny part. This Hanamaru Kunikada school uniform version, in case you guys are unaware of, this thing is going for over 30,000 yen in the pre-owned market. Pre-owned, not brand new, over 30,000 yen. And the lowest I've seen is like 25 or 26k, and she goes over 30k easily. For a simple JK figure with 1 extra faceplate. This one right here where her mouth is open, I think I like this a bit more because it reflects her character more, her personality in the anime. Anyways, simple figure like this, over 30,000 yen, no way I'm paying for that, right? And the next one here, this one is January release, firstly. And then the next one here, Matsua Kanan, also January release, also 16,000 yen by Alter. I reviewed this just late last year, just months ago, right? And then in my video, I mentioned that this figure was selling for double the original MSRP price. Minimum 25-26k, can go all the way up to 30 plus or 40 plus thousand yen. Yes, it is that insane. And I liked this figure a lot. For someone who is not a big fan of Love Live, I liked this figure a lot because the wetsuit over here, opening up like that, it is a bit unique in a way. And then, Alter must have seen me complaining about this figure costing so much in the aftermarket, and then they thought, why not re-release it? And here we are today. So just hours ago, before I started filming this video, there was one of you, actually 2 of you. One of you mentioned it in my Discord server saying that you just paid more than double for this thing not too long ago, and you are now seeing this thing getting re-released for 16,000 yen. All I can reply you is a big F Full respect. And a second guy also messaged me in my Facebook page saying the same thing. He paid way more for this Kanan figure and now he is watching this thing getting re-released. Oh boy, that is rough for sure. For everyone else who have wanted one but are unwilling to cough up 30,000 yen, here's a second chance. Don't miss out on it again. They are really good figures, right? They are really good figures. I think the original MSRP from a few years ago during the first release was like 13,000 yen, I believe. Was it 11,800 yen or 12,800 yen, around that ballpark? Now 16k, considering the currency depreciation of the Japanese yen, I think this is just about right. It is not expensive at all. Moving up next, we have finally the second figure, which is a two-dimensional version from Belfine. You see, when Belfine released their Toga Himiko 2D version, 2D arts version, was that last year or longer than that? It was quite a while ago. I made that figure a highlight, the main title of my Figure News Fix video. On that very same week, she went on pre-order because I found it to be so attractive, like so different from the rest, right? And now finally we have a second one here, happens to be Suyu Asui from BNHA. This one, however, does not give me that 2D vibe that much compared to Himiko Toga, but it is there. It still looks 2D. And 18,500 yen, well, fair enough. So my opinion on this, Belfine, they should do more figures in this style and not just BNHA figures. You can look into any other popular anime or games and do figures in this 2D art style exactly like what you see in anime, because no one else are doing it. So this is like a market gap over there, right? An obvious gap in the figure market where there may be people who like stuff like this but no one else are making it. It is an opportunity in a way. Yeah. So Belfine should look into making more figures like this, even though this is not something I would buy because I won't touch BNHA stuff. The only possibility I would buy something from BNHA would be a Toga Himiko figure, but I wouldn't care about any other characters. Okay, moving up next, we have two figures from Square Enix. We have 2B over here, DX version, 27,000 yen. Is this a re-release? Because I feel I've seen this before. But 27,000 yen, you know what? You can just get the Max Factory version and you will own one of the best 2B PVC scale figures out there among the licensed ones. I think the Max Factory ones, and followed by the one by Aniplex, they are among the best two genuine PVC figures of 2B. Yeah. 27,000 yen, but if I remembered correctly, this thing is really tall, really big. It is almost 1/6 scale. There we go. 27 cm tall. And then port 042 is approximately 34 cm. Yep, this is a 1/6 scale. So the only reason why you would want to buy this, despite knowing Square Enix QC is horrible to say the least, is that you want something big enough. 1/6 scale, then you may want to look into this one, but I would still vouch for the one by Max Factory, which is around the same price, 27k. Yeah, but I'm afraid you can't pre-order it now anymore, pre-order closed, so wait until after release. The next Square Enix figure here, Final Fantasy VII Remake Static Arts Cloud Strife, 18k November release. So here's the thing with this figure, the photos here look great. Just that once again, we don't know what the final product will turn out to be like. So buy Square Enix stuff at your own risk. The height of this thing is 26.5 cm, which is around, for male character, this is at least 1/7, I think. Not a bad size for 18,000 yen. Yeah, this is not a bad price at all. No. I forgot to factor in that sword over there. 26 cm including that sword. No, this is 1/8 scale. So 18k is about right. Okay, moving on to the next one. What is this thing? The King of Collectors 24 EX Geese Hobert HG damage version by Studio 24, 18,000 yen March release. Okay. This looks like something I see from Street Fighter or Tekken. Must be one of those fighting games. It looks pretty detailed. It almost looks like a resin figure to me, you know, the way they texture this this cloth part around his waist, but no, at this price it won't be resin. The detailing is fantastic, I have to say. The detailing on his muscles and everything, the paintwork, the shading is fabulous. But I know nothing about this franchise. The King of Collectors, does it have something to do with KOF, the King of Fighters? I feel like there has to be some connection over there. Wow, that scar on the chest is amazing. That's beautiful. Okay, moving up next. Yep, we are now in low budget figure territory. We have two pop-up rates here. Weverse Grammary L size from High School DxD Hero. 8,900 Japanese yen. I think pop-up rate L is usually 8,000 yen, right? So prices are going up. But if you get this version of Weverse Grammary, I will personally fly to your country, drive to your doorstep, and smack your head for it. Because you should be getting this version over here, Doki Doki version. Because the very definition of High School DxD is the main character's obsession for opai, isn't it? Such a sad thing that Good Smile Company wouldn't make edgy figures because that is not what their brand is about. So we needed a figure of Weverse Grammary with her opai fully exposed, not partially like this. This should be the one you get, but if you get both, massive respect for you. Okay, and this has to be the cheapest Weverse Grammary skill figure so far. I don't think there are any low budget skill figures of her, and Weverse Grammary is immensely popular. A lot of her figures that came out in the past, doesn't matter which figure brand, even the lesser brands, the lower quality brands, they still became expensive in the aftermarket anyway, because she is just that popular. And her 1x4 skills by freeing, yeah, same thing. They became very expensive, especially the first older version. But if you are getting a 1/4 of Weverse today, get the newer one, the one where she's pole dancing. Yeah. Okay, and the last figure on HLJ this week, Papuko and PP Me. These things are memes, right? I have always wanted figures of these two characters, man. I just couldn't decide whether to get the Nendoroid or to get some scale figures out there like this one over here. These two are meme characters. Chibi Creature, Papuko and PP Me spacesuit version from Pop Team Epic by Ember Toys. I've never heard of them. Just under 15,000 yen. September release this September. I think this spacesuit version is kind of interesting. I actually like it. Alright, and let's move on to Ami for our next section over here for figures that are either exclusives, Ami exclusives, or they have not yet been listed in HLJ at the time of recording this video. So before I proceed, if you are enjoying this video so far, please do me a small favor, and that is to subscribe to this channel for more anime figure contents every week. Yeah, and that is how to support this channel. It is that simple, just clicking one single button. Alright, so getting back to this figure over here, Kadokawa figures, they always show up really late on HLJ, if any at all, usually one whole week later. So this one over here, Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Alisa Mikhailovna Kujo, light novel Catgirl version, illustrated by Momoko. Kadokawa special set, 22,550 yen, January 2026 release. I'm happy to see this anime get some scale figures because I think this anime adaptation deserves it. And I really need a season 2 badly. I loved season 1. It was great, especially the main character's Imoto. Best Imoto. So with this Alia over here, the special set, you're getting rubber mat. A rubber mat, okay. So the standard version without the bonus part is 18,000 yen, which is about right for 1/7 scale in this sitting position. This is a small figure, 13 centimeters only. Yeah. But this feels a little bit out of character. If I based on what I saw in the anime, like her demeanor, her personality, her character, I don't see her dressing up and acting like this. But yeah, two different things. This is from the light novel. Okay, moving up next, we have Ami exclusive, Gugudo Eve again. because she sells so well. Everyone are buying her figures and they're almost guaranteed to go up in value after release. So this is Eden version by Pink Charm and Edgy Figure brand. But given that this is on the front page of Ami, not the age restricted section, no, this is not customable, unfortunately. Okay, I'm not scrolling through the pictures, but no, this is not customable. That is the sad news, even though Pink Charm is an edgy figure brand. From what I've heard, the artist herself does not want this character to be lewd anymore. Yeah. So, with the exception of a few past releases, which would have become very expensive by now, future figure releases of this character won't be customable, unfortunately. And 28,000 yen, with that base over there, I think this is about right, given that this is a 1/6 scale. If you like her, I would still say go ahead and pre-order it before you regret it. Yeah. Okay, moving up next. The next 5 figures are from the age-restricted section of Ami. So the first one here, Binding 1/4 scale Barneystein Fantasy Paina. 44,000 yen, obviously customable. And this is all I can show you. The cow bikini over here is beautiful. One of the prettiest cow bikinis I've seen, especially in combination with the pink color stockings over there. So this one, 44k, is expensive, but you know what? I think I can justify it. Releasing this November 2025 for those of you who love the males. The next one here, this is also great. We have Comic Grape Volume 109 cover illustration. Just cover illustration. She doesn't even have a name. Wow. Some artists can be pretty lazy. They don't even bother to give their characters a name. This is by Nocturne, one of the top tier 18 plus figure brands. So she has a price, 34,000 yen, releasing in January 2026. This is for the bonus version, where there are extra parts in the box. No matter what, get the bonus version because you're getting extra accessories, extra figure parts, right? The standard version is going for 27,500 yen. But you'll want to get the DX one. Okay, moving up to the next one here. This is my favorite among these few edgy figures over here. My second favorite after the one by Lovely earlier on HLJ. So this is Ban original character Due Roso. It's a nice name, Italian, right? Roso, great. Okay, 1/6 scale by Rocket Boy. Another excellent edgy figure brand that I can highly recommend. Almost 26,000 yen, December 2025 release. And you know what is the best thing about this edgy figure? It is that she comes with a second faceplate with this mask that looks like something I saw Bane wear in The Dark Knights or Batman. Yeah, it looks so badass for some reason. And this character is right up my alley. I like the character design. The body proportions are just right, you know. The OPI size is just nice. Medium is premium, not too big. Yeah. So this is something I really like, but if I get one, I couldn't review it on YouTube. Yeah. And the last figure over here, this is just a quick mention. Taimanin RPGX Shiranoi Mizuki Suntan version 1/6 scale by Pure. 33,000 yen, July 2025 release. So this is coming out next month, but somehow it is on top. Like the second row of Ami's age restricted section for some reason. Maybe they bumped the figure up. Yeah. So this went on pre-order quite a few months ago already. Not new. And this thing is fully customable, which is why she's so expensive. Highly recommended for Taimanin fans. You need to get this one. Yeah. So that is all for the Ami section. Let's move on to the last section for genuine figures. Nin Game, we check out Beeful, Insight, Forts Japan figures, which the other websites, they don't want to offer them. I think you can get them on Hobby Search as well, but not every Japanese sites want to offer Insight and Beeful figures because they break way too easily. They're more fragile than the feelings of your ex-girlfriends, all of your ex-girlfriends. So be mindful of that should you choose to buy their figures anyway. And the fragile part is not even the biggest problem yet. Some of their figures turn out like bootlegs, like the sculpt is nothing like what was being promised in these official product pictures. So once again, be careful. So the first one here, the Sweet Seduction of the Lazy Gal, Natsuki Shiokaze 10th version. 1/5 scale, only one single scale, 25,000 yen, releasing in January 2026. Finally, they stopped shoving figures into December. I might be saying this a bit too prematurely though. The next one here is the normal version, not the 10 version. 1x5 scale, same price, same release date. Okay, Opie too big once again. The next one here we have Let's Do Triple X at the wedding. Come on, don't create a mess at the wedding, man. Do it after that. Christina 1x6 scale by Insight, 20k for the 1x6 scale and 33k for the 1x4 scale. As usual, this is releasing in December. See? December release. I said that too prematurely earlier. Okay, once again, giant melons, not my kind of thing, but I like the face a lot over here. The next one here we have, finally, we have an elf, blonde elf, captive one. Who doesn't love their slavery, isn't it? Eleanor, nice name. 1x6 scale by Insight, 20k, and 1x4 scale, 33k, releasing in December 2025. Come on, stop putting figures in December, man. Okay, the next one here, 4 versions of the same figure. You know that Ohoho character in anime and some VNs? Like, the girl is obviously some American or British who is very rich and such a big show off, always laughing and looking down at other people, but eventually becomes a tsundere and falls in love with the main character, but is reluctant to admit that. This stereotype. And of course, they always come with blonde drill hair, just like this one over here. So, Lady of the Otherworldly Academy, Elizabeth F Rosenberg. 1x6 scale from Beeful and Forge Japan. This is Forge Japan version because this is a safe forward version. This is all you get. This is not customable. And she is giving off that oh ho ho laugh, as you can see over here. And that is the best part about this figure, the face expression. We need more figures like this actually. 22k for the 1x6 scale and 1x4 scale, 35k. This is a bit more expensive. The thing is that you can see it from this close-up picture alone. The detail level is poor. There's barely any shading and they're asking for so much money for it. Big oh ho ho laugh there. And then finally, the next 2 versions are the ones by Insight, the 18 plus version, where shirt buttons open, skirt up, things like that, and you get to see all the best parts of the figure. 22,000 yen for the 1.6 and 35k for the 1.4 as usual. Now, the problem over here is that this face expression is just as good as the oh ho ho face earlier. So if you ask me to choose which one to get, assuming that this is a good figure brand to begin with, then I would be so hard-pressed, I would be so indecisive, and then in the end, I would get both. That's the thing. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. This is a long one because there are so many figures and I had a lot of things to say. So moving up next to the third-party resin figure section, making use of OshGK, which is our affiliate partner for third-party resins. So first off, if you want to support this channel in any way, please to make use of my affiliate links to enter HLJ or OshGK, links in the descriptions below. Just click the link, enter the website, and you can buy or pre-order anything you want, and that is how you support this channel, and that is without paying a single cent in extra. Simple as that. Okay, so getting back to third parties this week, fortunately not as many as genuine figures, but still have a lot of interesting stuff. Starting off with Anyas as usual, I have 3 of them this week. Hardshell Studio. This is what? Oh, with Pokemon. Okay, so $99. Only one single version, releasing this December, and I'm not sure what this Pokemon is, right? I don't like Pokemon. I'm a bigger fan of Digimon. Okay. Okay, the face does not look really good from this angle. I don't think I can recommend this one. Come on, this is Anya. You shouldn't be messing up her face. I think the nose is way too close to the mouth. The nose is like right here, right above my lips over here. It is so weird. Fix her face, man. Oh my god, that looks terrible. The nose. Okay, and even this Pikachu, what the heck is this? The ears are too small and short. What is this, man? First figure in the third party section, and I'm looking at the worst of the week. And the second one here, we have Gulu Gulu Studio, Anya cosplaying Satoru Gojo. Okay, 2 versions, must be pink and white hair, I suppose. Let me have a look. Oh, okay. you're getting an extra head sculpt on top of that. That is white. Yeah, pink and white. Pink and white, I mean. So $131, expensive, but you're getting extra stuff. Oh, 3 head sculpts. Okay. $131, you're getting 3 heads. That is fair. Fair price. I'm not sure if this is the best figure of Anya and Satoru Gojo crossover, but this is pretty close. Wow, this is amazing. Very nice from Gulu Gulu Studio. Okay, I'm releasing this December. The third one here, Cosplay Studio, has Anya cosplaying Hinata from Naruto. This is going for $99, no release date yet, and you get to choose between black and pink hair as usual. I like the Satoru Gojo crossover earlier. I like that a lot more. And that is such a great value for money, you know, 3 head sculpts for $131. This is already $99, though you do get a pretty nice flame effect base over there. I mean, every week we have a few of these kind of figures. You just choose which one is your favorite if you are looking into pre-ordering these things. Moving up next, we have Wawa Studio. They actually make Anya figures, but this time around, they have Inuyasha. Gigantic Inuyasha. December release. Okay, closed mouth and open mouth version. This picture is open mouth version. And this one is $91 and... Okay, $91 each. What is the size of this thing? 21 centimeters. Is that including the sword? If it is, then this is a pretty small figure. Okay, not a fan of this thing. Right, moving up next, we have another Inuyasha figure over here. Dual form statue by Mimo Studio and Exorcism Studio. Okay, 2 versions over here. Version A is going for $143. No, I wouldn't bother with this one, you know, like, it is a small figure for one, and number 2, this kind of pose, I couldn't enjoy looking at the details of the figure, especially the outfit, you know. I would stick with version B, this one over here, $167. Yeah, no points getting both, I think. Okay, so this one, oh, it looks nice. And the way they painted this figure, is this a figure or a CGI render? It looks like CGI render to me, I'm not too sure. But if this is actually painted figure, it looks very 2D. It reminds me of the 2D paintwork version by Belfine earlier. Yeah, if they paint this figure exactly like this, then this is a very convincing purchase, in fact. This looks like an actual figure to me. This one... This is an actual figure. Okay. I'm a photographer, so I can tell. So they use a background poster, right? Just a print, a cloth or a paper. And then here they're using artificial grass with the figure standing on it. So this is an actual figure. So if this is the kind of paintwork we're getting over here on the hair, this looks amazing. $167 is good. Moving up next, Tian Tian Studio Neja, Birth of the Demon Child Neja, $130. No release date yet. Okay. Okay, so this is what the figure looks like. This is all the Photoshop over there. But, alright, this looks pretty nice. Just that, yeah, the side view looks really weird. Angle issues, right? Can't be helped, I suppose. It almost looks like he does not have any nose at all. This side angle view is really weird. From both sides, same thing. Front view is fine. Okay, and the size of this thing, 1/6 scale. Height would be 22 cm, the whole thing. Alright. Moving up next, we have one of the worst figures of the week, together with that Anya earlier, the first Anya. Leopacol Studio 1/3 scale Naruto Hinata. 1/3. This is coming out in December for $323. And I mean, look at the face over there. Oh my god. Please. This is a huge statue, a huge figure, and they can't even get the face right. The face looks terrible over here. And combined with that fabric outfit and silicone skin or polyurethane skin, no, please don't buy this thing. I know it is big and cheap, 1/3 scale, but please don't waste your money on this thing. Moving up next, we have A Corner Studio Bleach Espada Lilinette Gingerbug. Okay, 1/6 scale, $148, December 2025 release. This looks nice. What is up with that sad face over there? Okay, price-wise, no problem. I think $150 for something like this is fair enough for resin figure. But why I mean, if this is actually a character from Bleach, why I've never seen any genuine figure brands do a scale figure of her, especially Mega House? Is this like a side character or a less important character? I have no idea, but alright, fine. December 2025 release as well. Everything is in December. Moving up next, we have Mask Studio Dandadan Shiratori Aira. Yeah, the Obasan, the grandma. One of the most stylish grandmas I've seen. $292 at 1/6 scale. That is expensive. Releasing in March 2026. Let's have a closer look. Okay, the paint work, the makeup on the eyes, they look amazing over here. Oh, okay, 2 head sculpts. I think that makes sense. Yeah, the face looks really good over here. 2 head sculpts. We have some texture on her outfit. Very nice texture over there. And a really good base, right? Yep, a detailed diorama base in a way. Okay, $292, fair enough. I need to look at the entire package, right? And that suitcase, that bag over there, wow, that is nice. I love details like this, textures. Alright, it is expensive, but I think they can justify the price over here as long they deliver as promised. Moving up next, we have GZ Studio Neon Genesis Evangelion Soryu Asuka Langley. This is a 1/6 scale, and we have main body. Standard version $310, DX version $345. Okay, so no, you're not casting off this thing. The DX version, you're getting an additional realistic head sculpt. No, thank you. I'll stick to the standard version. Yeah, this is good enough for me. I think the entire package is nice. Like, she does not take up way too much space. You know, I really liked the Asuka and Rei from Imagination Studio. I covered them a few weeks ago. But that thing is messy and huge, like some of you pointed out. This one is a nice compromise in a way, you know. Just that $310 for a 1/6 scale, that is really stretching it a bit. Like, that is not cheap for 1/6 scale, even with that base factored in. Moving up next, we have TGZW Studio Private Secretary Uniform Series licensed figure because it is their own original character. $379 at 1/4 scale, no release date yet. You know what is funny is that she appears to be photocopying her own backside. Yeah, I had to cover up, you know, the yellow boxes I placed over there. Those are images of her backside being photocopied out. So interestingly, that is a full color photocopy machine, number one. And number two, she is not even sitting on the scanning area of the photocopy machine, but that thing is photocopying her backside. Okay, I'll just assume that she has already photostated her beautiful backside in advance, and then she took the copy, put it inside, and printed more. Okay, I mean, I'm always questioning anime logic when I shouldn't. Okay, so this is really all up to you whether you like it or not. I want a photocopy machine, a scale model, but not at 1/4. I want it at 1/6, 1/7. Okay, moving up next, we have Thunder Z Studio Stellar Blade Raven. Finally, something else that is not Eve, right? Okay, 1/4 scale, December release, $476, which is about the right price for 1/4 scale like this. Oh, I love the details, man. And the base, you know, it looks so realistic. The most impressive part about this figure is actually the base. Yep. That looks hella realistic to me. I don't think I've seen any Raven figures before. This could be the first one from any third parties for the matter. And she looks good. The face looks good. You might want to look into this one. Moving up next, we have ZQ Studio Dragon Ball Bulma. This should have been earlier. I did not arrange my tabs properly. Should have been with the Naruto and Bleach section earlier. $132 only at 1/6 scale. They have solid color and transparent color. Must be the dress, right? Slightly translucent. Yeah, I think that is the case over here. So let's have a closer look. I would take the transparent one, of course. I mean, this is the girl where an old fart in the anime. keeps simping over her in some way, you know? Yeah. Dragon Ball stuff are always welcome, even though I don't collect them. This one looks really good for sure. Very accurate to the anime. Moving up next, we have LOL's Toys. Original character 1/6 scale Knights of the Secret Garden. Unpainted figure. Oh, unpainted. Okay, for those of you who want to practice painting figures, maybe. But why is there a black and white color if she is already unpainted to begin with? What is the difference? Oh, okay, 2 different figures. Alright. Should have checked it in advance. I assume that you may have to assemble the figure because that is real hair over there. Not real hair, but you know what I mean over there. And this looks so weird, man, this thing. I would take the black color version if I had to choose easily. This is more attractive. Clothing not included, what the hell? Then why am I buying a Hadaga body just to paint the skin? Like, we need more clarification about this thing, man. But I doubt those of you watching this are interested in this thing at all. So let's move on to the next figure from Nikke Pop Studio. We have Chainsaw Man Makima 1/6 scale action figure. Interesting. $166 at 1/6 scale, which is fair for an action figure. December release again. Okay, the face on this is good. The first thing I look for in Makima figures is the face. This is not bad. And yeah, fabric outfit. I'm not a fan of them, but you know, for action figures, maybe they have their place. Alright, moving up next, we have Pop Mart. No, I did not know that Pop Mart also makes action figures. Linkage by Yue Kui 1/8 scale articulated figure, licensed. $93, no release date yet. Okay, the face on this is okay, but does not look as good. But at the same time, this is a smaller figure, 1/8 scale. Still better size than Figma, right? And for $93, that is quite close to the Arctech action figures by Apex Toys, I think. Quite close. Alright. If I want a figure of this character, I think I will still lean towards a proper scale figure. Yeah. Okay, moving up next, we have 30. This is actually a very famous and popular action figure brand. And this is Cyberpunk Lucy. $164 at 1/6 scale. Very competitive price. Very good price over there. December 2025 release. But you know what? As much as I love Cyberpunk, I'm waiting for the 1/7 scale by Animaster because I'm a cheapskate. That thing is 7,000 yen, you know? I believe that one is coming out in August also. Just a few months away. Okay, this is one of the nicer Lucy action figures out there. You should check this one out if you are into action figures. The face sculpt is really good, right? And given that, you know, Cyberpunk characters, they have mutilated their own bodies in so many ways that they are almost half mecha, half cyborg at this point, I don't think I mind the joint lines on these figures as much. The main reason why I dislike action figures is because of the joint lines, but Cyberpunk characters, they are a bit mecha-ish. I'm able to overlook that. Okay, moving up next, we have Pink Soul Studio Nana. Komatsu Nana, $181, December 2025 release. Why is everything December, man? This is beautiful. Wow, this is a beautiful photograph, in fact. I know it is fake, the background is fake, the light effects here, they are fake, but it is still nice. Okay, this is a very nice Nana figure. Nana is a manga, if I'm not mistaken, an old school manga. There was an anime adaptation like 20 years ago. Well, at closer look, this looks a bit like a doll, but the shading on the hair, man. If this is exactly what we get in the paintwork, then go for it. But this is exactly what I'm afraid about because there are many third-party figures. They show you the figure looking this good, and then when the final figure does come out, the sculpt, the face, everything is still accurate, but there are some shading that is missing, and then, yeah, the paintwork is a lot flatter than what was being promised. That is my concern over here. This is a lot of detail. For a resin figure that cost $180, let's hope that the final product looks like this though. Moving up next, we have Soda Studio original character, their own original character. So this is a licensed figure. Strawberry Sundae mascot girl Summer Kana, $73 only. But this is a 1x7 scale, $73. Is this PVC? It is hard to believe that this is resin at $73. Let me have a look at the materials. Product material not mentioned over here. Okay, even OSGK does not know yet. But I suspect this is a PVC figure, which that is actually good news, to be honest. They are less fragile than resin. Okay, she looks pretty good, to be honest. For $73, this is not bad at all. Yeah, it looks like one of those low-budget scale figures, like PVC figures, and you even get a second faceplate with the mask on, which I actually like. So this is not a bad buy at all. Moving up next, we have Demon Core Studio Fate Series Motorcycle Trio. Okay, we have Raiko over here, Shoten Doji, and also Ibaraki Doji. Interestingly, we don't get many figures of her. So before I proceed, there is one thing you need to know. The artist behind this figure over here, or this artwork rather, has mentioned it. They commented it in my post on Facebook saying that they did not grant Demon Core Studio any permission to make figures based on their artwork. So this is effectively stolen art. So I replied to them, oh great, I mean, obviously I don't know about it. I don't keep track of artists. But what they can do is to reach out to OSGK, and OSGK might connect them to Demon Core Studio in case they have Twitter or something, I don't know, and work things out. Yeah, so there are two ways this could go. Either the figure gets cancelled altogether, or they strike a licensing deal. Yeah. So this is Miyamoto Raiko, which looks pretty nice. The face over here. I already have Raiko scale figure. I might buy another one at some point. But interestingly, I think Ibaraki Doji, you know, it has been for many years that I have been asking Amakuni or Kyoskyo or Good Smile or any brand for the matter that makes FGO stuff, give us a scale figure of Ibaraki Doji, because we have Shuten Doji. Where is her other half, Ibaraki Doji, right? Like, it feels incomplete. I want a scale figure of her. And there were garage kits of her, the official ones, the limited ones, which unfortunately until today has not been converted into proper PVC figures yet. I wish that would happen someday. Yeah. Moving up next, this is a very nice Saber figure from FWS Studio, 1x4 scale, $328. So aside from the freeing 1x4 scale, you can look into this one if you are a big fan of Saber. This looks fantastic, and it has been a long time since the last time I've seen anything nice from third parties when it comes to Sabers, you know. These third parties, they like making realistic face conversions, and that is not the Saber I know. This one is quite loyal to the original Fate Stay Night, I must say. The face is really all depends on whether you like it or not. It is a bit different from what we see in Ufotable's anime adaptation, for example. A bit different over here, but still looks like Saber. It still is Saber, and I'm okay with this. I mean, if I had $330 lying around, yes, I want one. Yeah. So, one of the nicer Saber resin figures in a long time for sure. FWS Studio, their figures are actually fine. Yeah, so rest assured with this one. Moving up next, we have Honkai Star Rail, one single figure this week. Castoris again. New character, right? From TY Studio, otherwise known as Tian Yao Studio. And I can't remember if I have covered this figure last week. But anyways, this is December release, $274. We need a lower angle look. Come on, my stupid internet connection, man. Alright, there we go. So, the face and everything looks amazing. And this bird cage setting over here. Wow, the details, wow. This reminds me of Asuna and Professor Sugo back in Season 1. Yeah, ALO version of Asuna being locked in the cage. Man, that is one of my favorite scenes in the anime. Even though everyone hates that for obvious reasons. NTR. This is a nice Castoris figure for sure. $274 is it's reasonable considering we're getting the cage and everything. Alright, moving up next, we have a rather Jingliu figure. Like, we have enough Jinglius already. Please stop making them. This is from Manufacture Studio. What a weird name. Okay, version A over here, the one you're seeing on screen, is $425, and version B, I couldn't put it on screen unfortunately, but not nice. Trust me, it is not nice. And you can get the set for $626. This is 1/4, so that is pretty cheap. 2 figures at 1/4 for $626. I mean, but realistic face, game over. I wouldn't get it. This is not nice at all. Detail is there, but I have the one by Epsim Studio, and I'm very happy with it. I won't buy another Jingliu resin figure. Genuine PVC maybe, but not another resin figure. Okay, the next one here, oh, you guys are going to smash the pre-order button like crazy when you see this one, because this Asuma Toki Bunny Girl figure by Genius B Studio is cast offable. And I mean actually cast offable, both the top and the bottom. You are swapping off the body, obviously. So there are so many versions over here. Basically, you can get her in 1/7 and 1/4. You choose which one to prefer. And the standard version does not have the diorama base, and then the EX version has the diorama base behind her. Yeah, so the standard version starts from $183 to $240 for the DX version, and then the 1/4 scale starts at $285, EX version, $369, and then you need to buy the DLC separately. Yeah, the cast off parts separately, but at least that is an option now. So can go all the way up to $369, which at 1/4 scale is not bad at all. You include the DLC parts. Okay, that is pretty expensive. Can go all the way to over $500. I mean, you need to add the same thing twice into the shopping cart, right? But still, we are looking at an Asuma Toki figure that you can cast off. They don't come by very often today, so this is one thing to think really hard about if you have the cash to spend on one. Alright, moving up next, another amazing Blue Archive figure over here. Combat Uniform Sukatsuki Ryo by Yao Ming Studio. Please get this one. It is less than $150, and the face sculpt on this is amazing. She is stunningly beautiful, this one over here. That is one of the best face sculpts I've seen from any third party for the matter. Oh, how can you say no to this? So this figure of Sukatsuki Ryo, together with that Asuma Toki earlier, they are the main highlights this week for the third parties. And I suppose that Castoris earlier is in third place. That is a detailed figure, but this Blue Archive stuff coming from third parties are amazing. Right, the next one here, more Blue Archive, Alice 21 Studio. We have basically a wedding dress version of Iochi Mari, $230 only, which is very reasonable. Releasing this September. This September, yes. So, eyes closed, please give me an eyes open version. See all of this, so many things going on for $230. Very reasonable. Do we have an open eye, please? Oh no, I don't think we have any. Fortunately, we have a second version of Iochi Mari over here, which is fantastic as well from Miin Studio, another brand that I can vouch for. Alice 21 Studio, their figures are excellent. Miin Studio, not as good as Alice 21, but they still make really good stuff. Like, there is not much to complain about other than maybe slightly lower levels of detail. So this is another Blue Archive. Oh no, this is Seiya. I thought this was Iochi Mari. Damn it. Different character. Okay. They look so alike from a distance at least. Anyways, that means that you now need both. Okay. So with this Seiya figure over here, I like the pose a lot. Like, it looks very natural in a way. And only $147. Releasing in September as well. Next one. This is a really weird figure in my opinion. Singer Studio Zenless Zone Zero Astra Yao. And I was asking myself, what am I even looking at? Why is the picture sideways? And number two, does the character look like that in the game? Like, this is realistic face, right? Realistic face conversion, and regardless of whether this is what the character looks like in the game, I don't like this version of Astra Yao at all. I would suggest waiting for other versions by other companies in future. Like, there's no rush, no hurry. I don't like this one. Yeah, this is a 1/7 scale, and the standard version is going for $186, and DLC version is also $186. What the heck? Maybe there is a pricing error on OshGK's side. Yep, this thing is customable, but despite that fact, I don't think I can recommend this one because subjectively speaking, I don't like her face. Yeah, the face ruins everything. And the last figure for today is from Azur Lane, Albion by Kitendo Studio, $230. This thing is customable. Yep. Both in front and behind. So $230 at 1.6 is very reasonable. And I really wanted to zoom in the pictures, but you know, this is borderline not safe for work. I don't know what YouTube thinks, so I'm not zooming in the pictures. June 2026 release. Finally, something that is not in December. I'm not a fan of this one that much though, so I'm okay with skipping this one. This week's Blue Archive stuff are amazing in comparison. So that is all for third-party resin figure section, and that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Another long week. So which one will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, once again, if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, please do give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.